Thank you for purchasing the NOVA Sports Performance Testing Leaderboard Template. This is a great tool for displaying your athletes' test scores to make your testing session competitive and to keep your athletes engaged in the session. Now that you've bought the template, you should receive a file. Simply open this file to get started. If there's a banner that comes up at the top that says Enable Macros, click this as it'll allow some of the background functionality to work properly. To start off, you'll want to rename your sheet so that it matches the name of your team and just looks a bit more professional. So I'm going to rename ours NOVA Football Club. And you can also change the header color just to match your team's colors. So here we'll go for a nice green. So the next thing you'll want to do is actually set up the different tests you want to do and the athletes you're working with. So you can click on the Enter Scores button. This will take you to this page, and in the top left, it's got all the steps that I'm going to run through now, simply explained with matching colors to see where you need to fill in or change things. So step one, we're going to name our tests. So for my team, we're going to do a 20-meter sprint. We're going to do a counter movement jump, and we're going to do a broad jump. In the case of these tests, counter movement jump and broad jump, both of those tests, higher scores are better, so we'll leave them. But for the sprint, obviously we're going to want lower scores to be better, so we'll just simply select lower. Now that we've got our tests set up, we need to add our athlete names. So until you add a test score, none of these names will show up. So I'm going to recruit some top performer midfielders. So we'll get Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, and Zinedine Zidane. Right, so these are our 4 athletes. What we'll do now is, as you go through your testing session, you'll populate the scores on this page. So if we do it in this particular order, we can go sprints first. You'll notice as well that if you try and click on any of the athletes other than the ones highlighted in red, you can't select their names. Once you add them in here into your athletes list, they'll auto-populate in the rest of the test, and you won't need to change it there. All you'll need to ever do is add in the scores. So if we go on our 20-meter sprint first, we'll say that all 4 of these guys are relatively quick, getting scores under 3 seconds. So we'll go for Steven Gerrard can have a 2.98. Frank Lampard, a bit slower, 2.99. Paul Scholes, he's maybe quite a bit slower. Zidane, we'll give him an 8.5. You'll see straight away that the ranks there auto-populate. So 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now, if you go back and look at your leaderboards by clicking on this, you should see they've ranked them according to rank. So now you'll have your best guy on top and then descending scores going down. Likewise, if we go for our counter movement jump, we'll go for 33.1 centimeters, 31.8, 35.6, and 33.5. So again, if you go back to your leaderboards, you'll see the scores showing up there and ranked. Now, let's take the example that once we got to broad jump, say one of the players didn't attend that particular test. Say Paul Scholes retired before we could get down to the broad jump, so his score won't appear there, although his name is on this list. So broad jump, we'll say Steven Gerrard, 2.54 meters. Frank Lampard, 2.67. Scholes didn't do one. Zidane, 2.71. You can see still ranked 1, 2, and 3. only those 3 will show up. Paul Scholes will not show up. So if you've got athletes that missed tests, or if they only did 1 test, as long as you add them to the list in the first test, they will be there. So that concludes putting in test data and looking at the scores. If you only have 1 screen available to you, say you're just doing this on a laptop and leaving the laptop in your gym or in your testing area, then this is all you'll need to do, is just jump back and forth between leaderboards, entering scores. However, if you have the luxury of a nice big projector or a big screen up in the gym, simply click Open New Window, and a second window will appear. And all you have to do then is drag this onto an extended display, and you'll be able to keep that up on your screen. And then as you change the scores here, I'll just quickly split this screen just to give you an example. So now if you look on the right, I'm going to change the scores over here. So we'll give Frank Lampard suddenly decided he wants to be the best. So we'll give him a 38 over here, 38.6. And if you watch the CMJ on the right, it'll update and his score will change and he'll be ranked number 1. So that's it. That's the live testing leaderboard template. The only other thing is, if you like this form, this template, click on the feedback form and it'll open up a link to a questionnaire. Simply let us know what you thought, if you like the functionality of the design, and let us know what you think. Thank you very much for your purchase.